So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Eazy Conversations. Thanks a lot to everyone who listened to the last episode featuring the homie Matt and I. Hope you enjoyed listening to us go down the history books and walk through the different eras in our humankind's history. I hope you learned a few things and got you inspired and thinking about, hey, it would have been cool to live in this era. It's time for episode 162 of Eazy Conversations. I'm extremely excited, of course, to be back in the studio virtually with the homie Matt. Say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day right now. Very excited to be recording this episode, Eric. Last episode, we went to the past and our history. Today, we'll be talking about something, that's kind of happening right now in our city, and we're going to, dive deep into that topic. So, Eric, without further ado, why don't you let the listeners know what we're going to be dissecting in today's episode?
Yeah, perfect way to intro it. And I'll just give some additional context to the recording portion of this episode. So, like I was telling Matt before we start here, we're living in it. There's a classic 2-week stretch that happens every July in Ottawa. Local listeners know I'm referring to Blues Fest Music Festival. And I myself was just at the Sean Paul show last night as of recording, and it's quite early this morning. And if you notice that my voice sounds a bit off, it's because I was just trying as much as possible to sing the lyrics to Get Busy, We Be Burning. Of course, there's some portions of those songs that I just simply cannot keep up with, but you try your best at the shows to bring the energy up. And I'm feeling it this morning, not gonna lie. So Matt's rallied in the past with the flu game episodes. This is my flu game, so let's get into it. So yeah, music festivals, Blues Fest specifically, concerts, all of that. There's a lot to get into. Matt, I'll throw it over to you. How is your experience with concert going? Have you been to Blues Fest thus far? I remember in the past you said that you hadn't been to Blues Fest yet, so I just want to know, have you been in the last few years?
Well, I'm going to do a quick, long story here I'm going to just intro my answer, okay, folks? Now, I've been on the record in the past saying, basically, my concert game is severely, embarrassingly weak. And the reason why is, in my 20s, I wasn't a young man going out as much. I was very introverted. And I took basically having seen all these movies and TV shows has taken a price, and that price, Eric, is not going out as much and not going to concerts as much. So, for all my movie knowledge I dish out on this pod or on Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings and stuff, Star Wars, the price that I pay for all this knowledge, Eric, and listeners, is not going out as much, therefore not going to concerts. Now, I've gone to, so far in my whole life, 3 concerts. That number is up from 2 when I previously stated. Each concert that I've been to have been in different venues and different atmosphere. I'm going to get into that later, different times of my life too, actually. But Blues Fest specifically, I've never been to Blues Fest. I can get into my reasons why, I guess, after. But just the long and short of it is, no, I haven't been to Blues Fest yet. Do I blame things every year? And do I blame my work schedule and the logistics of getting to Blues Fest? Absolutely, that's my excuse. But to be truly honest, I don't really have a good reason why I haven't went. Just needed that kick. I need that kick in the butt from someone to just drive me out there. But again, that's another excuse, right? Me depending on somebody else. Honestly, Eric, I don't have a good answer for you. It's embarrassing that I've never been. We've recorded episodes about music before, and I've probably told the same story, but no, it's just embarrassingly lacking. My music concert going is very embarrassing, and I'm going to have to remedy that, and hopefully an episode down the road, hopefully not in the 200s, but sooner, I can talk about my Blues Fest experience. Today I'll be talking about my concert going experiences, but not my Blues Fest experience, Eric.
Hey,
First of all, how was it last night? How was Sean Paul? I'm dying to know.
really, really good, honestly. So I had heard going into it from a friend who we went with. She had already seen Sean Paul and said that his performance on stage was pretty weak. Like, the guy's cardio and breath control lacking. So going in, I'm like, all right, maybe excitement level, maybe tone it down or tamper expectations kind of. But he was really good, honestly. Like, yeah, sure, maybe a few
Yeah.
times he was like catching his breath and just chilling. He's not a young man anymore, really. But the songs speak for themselves. That's the thing with Sean Paul. They're just bangers, good summer vibes, and that's exactly the energy that was brought at the concert last night. A lot of smoke, both from the stage and the crowd was just flying in the air. The ganja was ripping freely like it was legal, which it is, I guess. But anyways,
Yeah.
so um, really good show. So far, I've seen 3 shows at Blues Fest this year. Hosier, Shania
Mm,
Twain, and Sean Paul last night, and actually Cardinal Official opened for Sean Paul, so saw him as well.
nice.
3 completely different vibes, right, to these shows,
Mm,
and I'll get into my like experience at Blues Fest later. I'm more used to seeing rap shows, right? Like that's kind of my bread
okay.
and butter, as listeners know, people who know
Right.
me know. But it was really nice to go to for example, Sean Paul was the closest to rap in terms of rowdiness. Like people were definitely jumping up and down, mild pushing. We were pretty close to the stage too. So the closer you get, the rowdier it gets. But it was still overall very tame. But then Hosier and Shania Twain was like country and folk both for both of them, and that was just like standing, vibing. People are singing the lyrics and just very respectful. And I actually liked that vibe a lot. Where, and I want to touch on what you just said without going overly long here about in your 20s going to Blues Fest and maybe feeling like you missed out to a certain degree. I don't think you need to be young to enjoy Blues Fest, really. And I don't consider ourselves old at all. But when you go to these festivals, there's a misconception that it's a young person's
Mm,
game where, yeah, obviously there are a lot of kids there. Like, there's a lot of, and me being a little older now, like, I look at these people, I'm like, oh, like, is this how I used to act at these festivals?
mm,
Like, super loud, pushing people, moving through the crowd. Like, at this point, we find a spot in the crowd, we try to move as far as possible up, and then we just post up. We're not trying to, like, squeak through people and be a
right.
nuisance, but kids, like, they don't care at all. They're pushing you, like, if there's not even a square inch for them to get by, like they're finding that little space. That is a way that you used to be when you go to Blues Fest, but you can still go now, being a little older, wiser, and not as like these kids are hammered out there. Like you're just seeing how
Right.
drunk they are, and it's kind of embarrassing. And I'm looking at them like, God, like I was for sure like this, and probably worse to be honest. So I think this is better though. Like it's better to go to shows either like just drinking a little or not drinking at all, which is what I do, and I enjoy it a lot more, to be honest. And like you remember, because there's shows I can remember that I don't remember at all, and that's like not a good thing. Like we're not gonna go down that list, but it's so much better
Very
to
well
actually be
said.
like, yeah, I remember all the songs specifically.
Yeah.
It was chill. So
Mm,
that's what I would say, Matt, for you now is like, yeah, next year look at the lineup and
hmm.
maybe even like just buy a pass like preemptively, and then you're like, all right, I have to go now, kind of thing.
Right.
Because that's the last
Yeah.
thing I'll say is that we bought a full festival pass like when those tickets dropped, and it was like around $300, and I'm gonna go to see 5 shows in total, so $60 a day is pretty good for
Oh yeah.
when now like tickets are all like $100, a little more than 100 for each day. So I think it's worth it. And then that's your like push, like getting a gym
Hmm.
membership to really get out there and take advantage of it.
I like that. And like back to me saying I have no excuse. I literally work. Like I could park my car at work and walk to Blues Fest in like
Mm,
15, 20 minutes. A lot of my coworkers are doing that, especially the ones that work day shift. They're going to Blues Fest right after work. My coworker of mine has who I work with, or he works on days. He's seen Shania Twain and Hosier too, and he said they were
nice.
great. Is
Yeah.
that your experience too, Eric?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh, no, you kind of already answered actually. Yeah.
but
So
yeah, Hosier was my favorite one for sure so far. Like I
nice.
was not aware of how many great songs this guy has. Like I just knew like Take Me to Church and Too Sweet.
Too
Like those
sweet.
are the
Yep.
two
Great song.
classics. Oh yeah, great song. And
Yeah.
but he has so many more like catchy tunes and just good vibes, and
Mm.
yeah, so like that's the other great thing about Blues Fest is like going into it, you know who the artists are, and maybe like a few weeks beforehand or even a month or so, you start really listening to their music. It's like studying for an exam in university. You're just cramming as much knowledge as possible so
Yeah.
that you don't look like a fool in the crowd and can kind of sing along. I'm a big just sing the chorus guy. Like I'm not a verse guy
Right.
for these
Yeah.
artists
Yeah.
unless it's a rapper. But yeah. So Hosier,
So
sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that brings another. You finish your point on Hoser, but the debate of should you go in blind or should you do your homework? Because my third concert experience was going in blind, and I'll get into that when I get into it. So you're saying go in with prepared.
I think so because I feel
Yeah.
like you just feel like a fish out of water if you can't help but sing along a little, like, or I just like
Yeah.
I'm not a big like dance moves guy out there either. I got the one knee popping, one hand up, just like swaying up and down. So if you can mix in a little vocals in there, like I feel like that helps your case for the energy you can bring. And I do like to bring as much energy as possible, like jumping around and such. But no, learning the lyrics is big. Like I'm going to Green Day tonight, and I've been listening to them like big time this last week. And I feel like I know a bit more of the songs and the lyrics so that at least when they start playing, I'll be like, okay, do you have the time to listen to me whine? And then after that, I'm like, but overall, it's do the research is my recommendation for sure,
Yeah.
as much as you can.
Oh, you. Yeah, yeah. No, for sure, and that's my experience too. My first two concerts, I knew the songs. Third one, went in blind, but it was still honestly because I've only seen three concerts in my life. Like I'm not counting the ones I saw in high school, like that they brought like a indie band to the gym, or these were
No.
actually like full on like paid events. But I remember them like they were yesterday, Eric, and they're very memorable because there's very few of them. I can count them on one hand, and every time I hear a song on the radio by these three artists,
Yeah.
like I think of that moment. Like I remember it like yesterday, and one of them is when I was like in grade 6, I think. Like I was maybe in grade 5, like I was 10, 11, I think, maybe 13. So 13 years old. So it's very memorable. You've seen you're a seasoned guy for concerts. I'd say you've seen quite a few, right, Eric? And like some are more memorable than others. I'm sure like you can do a top 10 best to worst type thing. To me, they're all the best because I've only seen 3. So kind of a weird experience. But also, like I used to go to the theater every weekend, right? And some people only go to the theater every 8 years, so they'll remember that movie and it's memorable. Me, it's
Yeah.
like grinding the movies at the theater. So I guess I can kind of relate to that. So Green Day, and then who is there? Anybody else? Is Green Day your second last one, or who else is playing?
Second last one, and then Sunday I'm going to see Kate Renata, who's like a dance, like kind of EDM producer. Like he's a producer who makes music with typically other artists featured. He's actually Canadian too. He's from Montreal, and I've known his music for a long time. I don't really listen to him though, like on his own, but I think it'll be like I know the name. I'm like, you know what? Let's throw that extra day in. Why not? Like that's the thing with the full pass. It's none of these names really spoke to me when the lineup was announced. Andy wanted to go see like Hosier, Shania Twain, and Green Day were like those are and Sean Paul too. Like, those, like so I guess those four, which she'll have seen, she really wanted to go see, and I'm like, all right, I'll go too. I want to go, but it's not like it was like some of the names I'll get into later when we're sharing our like made up Dream Festival lineups. Because again, there's no rap really anymore at Blues Fest, and there's been a big shift at Blues Fest where in the past they'd always invite like at least 3 pretty big rap names to get that different demographic of fans, but they've really steered away from that, especially this year. Like last year, there was still 50 Cent came back, Nas was here. I want to say there was another rap artist too. But this year's the first time where it's really almost nothing. Like Eazy was announced as the rap name, and then he dropped out, and they replaced him with Cardinal Official, who like no shade here to Cardi O, but he just does not have the discography that'll make all of the diehard rap fans flock to him. Like for a lot, like I would say 30% of his concert yesterday was him playing songs by other artists to get the crowd going. Like
Really?
we're hearing Still Dre, we're hearing California Love. We got the jump, like all the classic, like just to get the crowd hyped because unfortunately he's not as well known as everyone else. And
Right.
last thing, well, actually, before we can get into the rap stuff before we get into this other thing. So, have you seen any rap shows, Matt? That's my question.
No, I have not.
Okay.
And I feel like just from what I see, rap isn't the greatest medium for a live show because there's no like instruments will always sound good live, but some rappers maybe suffer live because they don't have the stage presence, and you're really like up there. You really got to do a lot and hype the crowd up, right? It's not like a guitar and drums to do the job for you for some singers of bands, right? Am I totally unreasonable there, Eric, or is that pretty accurate?
No, you're right. And honestly, like, this stretch of going to Blues Fest and not seeing rappers really has made me appreciate the different level of production and just the talent on stage. And kind of like, not in a sense, not really miss seeing a rap show, right? Like, I've enjoyed these three different vibes, especially Hosier and Shania Twain had like 59 years old, and she was commanding the crowd. Great voice, great production. Yeah, like it's just a chiller vibe. Honestly, that's the downside of a rap show, is that you're kind of like head on a swivel. People get really stupid out there and start pushing, and you're like, all right, am I gonna have to fight a 17-year-old shirtless kid with a broccoli haircut out here? Like that's the kind of thing that you're wondering out here. But obviously, I still have a good time. I've never had any altercations at rap shows, but you're always like you always had to be just aware of like, all right,
Right.
is someone gonna do something stupid? And we've seen it done before so many times, like fights, girls getting punched in the face, like people getting knocked out. Like it happens often. Thankfully, I haven't seen any of that this year, but you always see people like yesterday we saw someone like kind of overdose on it. That's what it looked like.
Oh.
So there's you always got to be safe. That's the thing with Blues Fest. Like it gets hot out there too. I'm out here with a refillable bottle of water. Definitely recommend to the people on these like 40-degree with humidex days. Stay hydrated.
That's the thing about Blues Fest, right? At the mercy of the Ottawa weather. It could rain out that night. It could be hot as hell, which obviously it's better being hot as hell than raining. But yeah, no, I hear horror stories from coworkers and friends about like the crowd and getting pushed around. Like, but I guess you can get that in any concert, even an inside venue on the floor, see the floor, right? So yeah, I don't know. I think my lack of concert going stems from me being more shy as a teenager and young adult and not wanting to go out as much and just like being maybe intimidated by that atmosphere. The more I get into music now, like I feel like the last 10 years my music knowledge has exploded and like my knowledge and discoveries, it's insane. Like I don't listen to at all the same music. Makes me want to go to concerts more. But every time a big name gets announced, like I'm like, I'm not gonna go, or freaking. We did our bucket list episode, I believe, and I said I want to see Greta Van Fleet in concert, and then they came to City Folk and did I go? I didn't go, and I should have went. That was a perfect chance to see them at Lansdowne, right? So I don't know what's going on, Eric, with me, but it needs to be remedied, and it will be. I just need more willpower, but yeah.
Yeah, I would do it, man. Like it's a good time. Live music, it's so fun, and like it's not something you do often during the year, right? Like for Blues Fest, it's like 2 week stretch where, like I said, I'm going 5 times. It's a great outing, nice date night, and you feel like you're in the city, part of what's happening. And most people sound good live, right? Like it's just fun. And again, that's another discovery phase where you study or you don't beforehand, and then when you're actually there, like, oh my god, like I like this artist even more than I thought I did going into it. And then you're listening to their music for a little longer, and then it, like you said about your concerts, it then becomes a core memory that whenever you listen to that artist's music, you're brought back to summer 2019. Was listening to Foo Fighters a lot, kind of thing, So it's that's a big part of it, I would say. No. Okay, I thought I lost you there. Okay. Ovi stepped on the laptop, but all right.
All good.
Yes.
Making cameos today.
Always. And the last thing I want to say on the rap side is, in terms of how they sound live, obviously I listen to rap more than anything else.
Hmm.
a lot of their songs don't translate as well on the big stage, right? Like that's why like, when we get into our lineup of who I'd like to see, I did not include artists that like for I'll just throw it out there right now. Boldy James, I can't imagine the guy puts on a captivating concert. Like his rap is just so
Right.
like and I was sipping in a double cup, leaning, moving with the bricks. Like just so
Yeah.
monotone,
Yeah.
boring delivery.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot imagine that translates well to live. You need energy,
Yeah. Yeah.
lyricism too. Like you're missing what they're saying, and it's like really underground, heavy rap, or maybe it's unreal. I could be way off on that, but um, Brandon could speak to that in another episode. But yeah.
Yeah.
So and there's other artists too, like on the flip side, where they have a lot of energy, but maybe rely on auto tune a lot, like a Travis Scott. I've heard maybe there's a lot of energy from the crowd and stuff, but he sounds like shit live. So not included on my festival lineup. So it's but you don't really know until you see them. That's the thing, unless you watch like videos
Right.
online. You're, but I haven't had too many really disappointing experiences with concerts. That's another reason why it's just worth going. If you see something you want to see, just do it because most of the time it's gonna be a great time. I think in my
Yeah.
thoughts.
And then you get to say like I've seen that band, that artist in their prime at the moment in time when you
Yeah.
look back. I work with several older gentlemen, and like they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw Black Sabbath in the '80s or AC/DC in the '70s. I saw this like." The guys that have like an encyclopedic knowledge of like music, and then they've seen like over 100 concerts. Work with a guy who's seen Metallica in 6 different countries,
Wow,
different
cool.
times of their career. So it's really cool. Interesting point that you made, Eric. I like that you said an artist can sound good like on the albums we listen to, but like not necessarily live. Because I've like Baldy's to me is having one of the like a great year right
Mm-hmm.
now, and it's gonna be very hard for me to not include him in my top 10 this year. Just like foreshadowing. I
Standard
know
for
he's
me.
dropping some great stuff right now, but then live, like you said, it might be a different experience. Artists live too, you'll tend to be more positive reception. You'll tend to like their music more live. Like you'll be like, oh, they're putting on a good show. Whereas if you listen to them in the car, you might be like, no, no, skip this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for
Yeah.
me. Like a couple of the artists I've seen in concert are not necessarily people that I'll go to listen to in my car, but they just put on a great show. So yeah. You want me to get into my first concert, or
I was
I
just
mean
gonna
I've said
say
it
like
before on the pod. Yeah.
I was gonna
Go
say
ahead.
let's get into them.
Yeah.
Let's hear the big three.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's like the big two and then the unknown because the third. Anyways, the first one. Okay. Your last concert last night, Sarah was there, I believe, our cousin.
Yep.
Did she was with you guys? Okay. Well, Sarah was also at my first concert when I was 13, I believe. It was her and Tiny Cut and I think Dylan, me, Isabel. We went to see Avril Lavigne at the Corel Center, and she had
Nice.
just dropped her first album, Let Go. She basically sang the whole album. Avril was freaking amazing that night. She commanded the crowd, Eric. She was probably in her young 20s, early 20s. She opened the show with Skater Boy, and I can still remember, like, everyone just, like, bounced off their chairs and lit up because we had solo members and Gob to open the show, and that was more, like, mellow, like, cool vibes. But then Avril came, and everyone just lit up. And then when she sang Complicated, everyone sang the whole song. Like, not just the
Nice.
chorus, the whole song. She just had to put the mic up. I still remember that to this day, Eric. Every time I hear those songs on the radio, I think of that concert and the good times I've had. So, like, that was my first concert at a young age, and I probably had to wait 10 to 12 more years to see my second one. But I just remember Avril being good, like good stage presence, good vocalist live, sounded just like the album, which you can't ask for more. And it was a really fun time. That is the biggest venue I've been to for a concert is at the Corel Center. The other two concerts I've been to were smaller venues. So, can you remember your very first concert, Eric, and what it was?
So I have an idea, and obviously now like my mom, if listening, and my bro could maybe correct me here. Like it was a band, either like Simple Plan, Sum 41, something along those lines, but I don't know off the top
Nice.
exactly who it was. I feel like that was the vibe,
Okay.
but they'd have to correct me on that one. The next few that I remember, like when I was a little younger was Katy Perry at the CTC and then Lil Wayne at the CTC as well. I think it was
Oh
Scotiabank
wow.
Place at that time. And Lil Wayne was awesome. Rick Ross opened for him. The band that sings, or not a band, just the group that does like a G6 Far East Movement opened as well.
Yep.
So that was a great show, and that was like I'm talking about people were smoking at Blues Fest outside. This was in 2011. Marijuana very much illegal, especially inside, and it was just going up everywhere. I remember I
Wow.
couldn't believe it. There was this guy in front of us who had just gotten out of prison apparently, and he was just sparking up, like looking to go back.
Jesus.
The guy missed the food in there or something, but anyways, so those are three early ones that I can remember, and then after that, it really gets into going with friends and a bit of Blues Fest. Like 2014 was the first time I went to Blues Fest. Childish
Yeah.
Gambino. Um,
Mm.
Probably said it before. I'll just say it again. That's another weed story here where I was with Sarah actually, with Sarah and Isabel, and we were with like maybe a few other people, and then there was this crowd of people smoking, and then I didn't know these people. I'm like, Eric, can I have it? And then as soon as I got the joint, like security came in, like, okay, we're busting you guys up. You guys are out of here. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't even know these people. I remember we were just standing outside, and none of the other guys were saying anything, and I was being super rowdy, and the security let them all go back in. He's like, except for you. And I was like, oh my god, like, why couldn't I just be
Oh.
chill about it? And eventually Isabel actually helped to diffuse the situation and got us back in, let us off with a warning. But yeah, it's like don't two lessons there. Don't request drugs from other people, and then two, just be chill. If you get in a jam, you should be able to work it out as long as you're reasonable with the security officer. But yeah, um, and that was for
Wild.
Childish Gambino and Snoop Dogg. Actually, those were my first Blues Fest
Nice.
shows back to back. Great shows, both of them. Like Childish Gambino had a lot of energy, and I like the point that you made earlier about point in time when you see these artists. Like you remember what kind of music they had out at the time, and it's a time
Mm.
capsule. Like you seeing Avril Lavigne at that time, like Skater Boy, Complicated. I feel like those were anthems of the early to mid 2000s that we grew up with. So that's a huge first concert to go to. Like that's not one you're forgetting, like me apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I only remember because it's one of three, but like this transition's good into my second concert. I saw the Tragically Hip during like
Oh, nice.
Gord Downey. Gord Downey. This is way before he was announced that he had like a brain aneurysm or he was sick. This is like Tragically Hip in their prime. I saw them at the NEC, super small venue. Everyone's at first seated, and then as soon as Tragically Hip gets on stage, everyone stood up for the entire show. It was
Awesome.
amazing. I went with my mom because my dad, like my supposed to go with my dad, but like he had a hockey thing with my sister, so my mom's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go with you. Let's do it." And I was so happy. And they opened up with New Orleans is sinking, and every time I hear that song, I think of the concert now. And they rocked it, Eric. And I was a big Tragically Hip fan at the time, but I discovered a lot of songs during the concert too that I was unaware. You know when you think you know an artist and
Oh
you're
yeah.
like, "Oh shit, they have a deep catalog," and you don't know actually as much as you think. It's like the more you know, the more you don't know type thing. That's the best concert I've ever seen, Eric. It was
Nice.
like bone chilling, like goosebumps, not tears in my eyes, but just like goosebumps, and like you're living in the moment where like time goes away and you're just focusing on the singer and the song and how loud it was. It was the loudest thing I've ever heard, right? Because it was a more enclosed venue, super loud. And well, it's like the only rock show I've been to really, like where it was, a rock band. So
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal, Eric. I'll always remember that moment. I know there were Canadian heroes. Super sad what happened to Gord Downey. But I'm glad I got to saw him. This is probably maybe 2010, 2011, 2012 maybe. My memory sucks for dates, but Eric, it was magical. I'll always remember it. Still a fan to this day of Tragically Hip. I know a lot of people can take him or leave him. They don't like the sound of his voice, but I think they're Canadian treasures, and I love that band.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my second concert, guys. Tragically Hip.
Well, you're 2 for 2. That's awesome, man. I love Tragically Hip. Like I was in a big Tragically Hip phase in, I think, late 2010s, maybe early 2020s, and I still throw on their music every now and then. It's just good rock music, good vibes. Like Blow It High Dough. What an opener to that their first album. That
Yeah.
I forget the name right now there, but yeah, no, really, really good stuff. And them opening with New Orleans is Sinking, kind of a wild move. And similar with Avril Lavigne with Skater Boy, you said. So that I want to pose a question to you is, what are your thoughts on that opening song for an artist? Like, do you swing for the fences and open with a massive hit to get the crowd going? Or do you keep those more for the end, which is what I assume with artists, like they want to keep their big songs for the end. Maybe like early enough in the concert you sprinkle one of them in, but to open with one, gutsy. And like
Yeah.
last night, for example, I'll just say Sean Paul, we were even talking like, oh, what is he gonna start with? And Andy's friend, I think Sabrina, she said, "Get Busy," and I'm like, "There's no way he's starting with that. Like that's like you keep that for the end." And sure enough, he started with that. I couldn't believe it. And then not only that, but went into like "We Be Burnin'" and then "Cheap Thrills" like not long after. So he's like bang bang bang, bum bum to
Wow.
start off. So it's like we're not wasting any time. So what are your thoughts on that? Like how should an artist proceed? Do you go big song, medium song? Or unknown, I think that's a weirdo move.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that?
I think you go for a known song. Here's my take. Avril, maybe don't open with Skater Boy because you only have the one album out. Maybe you open with a lesser known one and you build up to the crescendo of like Skater Boy, Complicated. Tragically Hip have enough recognizable hits to be able to open what New Orleans is Sinking.
Okay.
They had a ton of other bangers. Their whole concert was our known songs. Like I still remember the songs that I discovered. They're known songs that play on the radio. Sean Paul, yeah, I think you have to open with a known song here. You got to get the crowd in there right
Okay.
away.
Okay.
So my answer is, if you have a lot of hits, open with one of them. If you're just starting out, you got to maybe save them for sure. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Eric?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the artist, like you said. That's a good point. I didn't really think of that. But in my mind, like, I guess Temperature would be his biggest hit and Cheap
Right.
Thrills. So, yeah, I mean, that's like, you're going with your number 3 or 4 song at that point. Not bad. But I can think of some shows, like, for example, Migos, who opened up with, like, if you know the album Culture decently well, like, they opened with
A little. Yeah.
Get Right With Ya, which is, like, in my opinion, one of the worst and if like lesser known songs of that album. I couldn't believe it. Like we were talking about what song are they gonna start with to get the crowd into it. Like I was shocked, but you know you ease into it and then you like you said build up to the crescendo,
Yeah.
and at that point it was like Bad and Bougie was the big song. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I guess there's no really wrong way of doing it. Even I'll say like, I just wrote down like my favorite shows that I've been to, and I'm for sure
Okay.
forgetting some. But now I'm looking at another experience with Joey Badass, who I've seen twice in concert. Well, the first time he was an opener for Wiz Khalifa and ASAP Rocky. They did a joint tour. I went to see them, which had a nice like lineup. It was Joey Badass, Trinidad James, and then B.O.B. as the opening acts, and then ASAP and Wiz. And Joey at that point not really known at all. And then I saw him a year later at Oshiega, at which point he only had like a very short set to begin with, and he was 45 minutes late. And I remember the sentiment in the crowd was everyone was furious, like booing, motherfucking him, just like wanted to kill the man. And then, sure enough, hopped on stage and he did one of his biggest songs at the time, and we all just started losing it. Like everyone, we had forgotten all the threats we had ushered. We were just like dialed. I remember the crowd went insane. It's just crazy how, like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, these people can do whatever they want, and we're still thanking
Yeah.
them for showing up. He performed
Yeah.
for like 15 minutes too. Like it was a very short,
Wow.
maybe 20 minutes, but I remember very short set. I actually met him after the show too. I might have said this already, but I'll say it again. So we were just waiting, and my buddy and I, against like the fence next to the stage, and we waited there for like, I don't know, time is tough to gauge, but it felt like at least 10 minutes. And again, we're starting to become restless as a crowd. We're like, all right, we're going to head out. And then someone yelled, "Yo, Joey!" I turn around and he's walking towards me specifically. I'm like, oh my God. And then just like dap up, big hug. He's like, "What's up, bro?" I'm like, "Yo, man, great show." And then we actually talked. We talked for a bit. And my buddy was like, he froze and couldn't even give him a handshake. But, and then I asked him like, "Yo, when's that song Check My Style dropping?" He's like, "Bro, that's coming out next Friday. Don't tell anybody." I'm like, "All right, I got you." So that's my little experience with Joey Badass in
Wow.
2014. Oh shit, I was like,
That's
I was buzzing from that experience too. That was one of my favorite shows at the time. Still is.
that's wild. I think I'd be like more like your friend. I freeze in front of famous people. I experienced that when I went to the Toronto Film Festival. I can't talk to someone that like I listen to or watch on screen. Good on you, Eric, for you're pretty confident. Like the Braun thing in Iceland, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
you have that picture of that. I don't know. You have good stories with that. You have good luck with that stuff too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
So, and yeah, well, yeah, the opening song, I don't remember like how what every artist opened with, but those two specifically I do. But yeah, and those like highlight rap shows for me too. Um, yeah, so what's the third one, Matt? I have a few others I want to get
All
into,
right.
but let's hear it.
My last one. This is my first time going to the Brass Monkey on Greenbank. It's like a
Mm,
little bar venue. It's like a super small venue. Um, I didn't even know who this artist was. I was dragged there by Mackenzie's friend who's a fan. I'm like, who is this artist? Doesn't matter. I get a free ride there. I just have to pay for the ticket. We get there. It's all a female audience, Eric. I'm like, okay, what is going on? This is the artist's name is Zana or Xana, Xana. She's like a big artist in the LGBTQ community. She sings
okay.
about like her relationships and love and all that. And I see a picture of her. I'm like, oh my God, like she's wearing like she looks really good in the picture, but I'm like, okay, what kind of show is this going to be? We get there. There's not that many people, but it kind of like everyone huddled around the stage. And Eric, like at first I was sitting down more at a table, and as soon as she came out, I like went with the crowd and stood in the back, and I didn't know any of her music. She's super indie, Eric, like not even my style of music, kind of like soft alternative music. I don't know how to describe it, but you know what? She rocked it. She had the crowd going, Eric. Everyone was singing the lyrics too. All these girls good on them, and I'm just there, like just stomping my feet, nodding my head, going like, "This is awesome."
Nice.
And kind of like emotional songs, and then more upbeat songs. Um, really, really, I had a great time, honestly, and I never thought I would have a great time at a concert like this, but it blew my expectations out of the water. I've never been to a small venue like that,
Mm,
Eric, where it's super intimate. Like I'm like 10 feet away from the artist. Even when she finished like her concert, she like walked off stage and walked right past me. She's probably like 5 feet tall, and like seeing her on stage, she looks larger than life. And then like she's right beside me. I'm like, oh my God, this is just another person just like me
yeah.
doing her thing. Good on her. It was a pretty magical evening. There's a couple bar there, so I had a couple of drinks, but the songs were good. And I just remember, you know what? The concert felt like one long song. Like
Mm,
every time a song would end and a new one picked up, it felt like one big song to me because I didn't know any of them. So that was a cool experience.
nice.
But yeah, Xana at the Brass Monkey last year, it was a different experience, and I treasure it. And I should go see more local shows like that. Why not? I have people at work that play in bands that do
Mm,
local shows
yeah.
at bars, and it's cheap, easy to get to. There's drinks, Why not? Have you had any experiences, Eric, at like little venues like that?
Yeah, so I have a few. So I've also been to the Brass Monkey to see a friend's brother's friend's band actually played a show there. Very small, lot of energy. I remember that was like a rowdy night for sure. Like the band in a small venue has that like diehard fan base, typically local, a lot of friends and family too, which elevates the experience where everyone's dialed in and wants to per- give as much back to their friends on stage to fire them up, right? So that was a good time.
Yeah.
couldn't for the life of me tell you the band's name, like, or a song of theirs. No chance.
Right.
Great time though.
Yeah.
And the other smaller venue, there's a few others actually, but the one I'll highlight is I saw my guy, rest in peace, Mac Miller at Algonquin College back in 2013. So that was a really small venue. Actually, again, gave him a dap up when he was on stage. I cherish that handshake
Wow.
big time still. I remember what I was wearing at that show too. Orange Hollister hoodie, which is insane. I was sweating like a pig in that show. But yeah, great times. And that one I actually went to alone. Like I met up with somebody that I knew there, but I was like, he was there with a few of his friends. I was kind of just vibing on my own because I was a diehard fan at that time still. So great show. And again, it's a more intimate venue. You feel like you're really in the trenches with the artists. It's a different experience and one that I enjoy a lot. Like I've also been like Blues Fest on the smaller stages where one of my friends has actually played at Blues Fest. It's part of the group Garçon.
Wow.
Might have talked about their music on the pod before, but
Yeah.
so they've played there. They actually played another club. I forget the name now. It's pretty well known. I'm blanking on the name, but so I saw them there, and again, good energy. We were going nuts, like Andy, Martin, and I, like really cheering them on hard, and it's a really fun time where you can establish a connection to with the artist like as much as possible there. So yeah, no, I like a small venue for sure. Yeah, it's a good time.
More intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that smaller venue and not known band, I don't mind not knowing their stuff because like they're not known worldwide. They're not known to the public. So like let's say I went into like you said, like a Sum 41 and didn't know any of their stuff, but they're huge, right? Like they're big in Canada. I would feel more weird than just like a local indie artist. So that's pretty. That's awesome.
Typically,
I've seen a lot of great.
Sorry,
I've seen a lot of great artists there. I'm jealous hearing all these names. But that's no one to blame but me. But yeah,
I'll just rattle
awesome
off like
to hear.
a few others of
Go for it.
a few others of my favorites like really quickly, and then we can share our like dream lineups
Sure.
and talk about those artists too. So one that I always cite as like a best of energy wise, insane crowd. ASAP Rocky in 2013 at that Wiz Khalifa show. So it was him who went on before last, and then Wiz was last, and we were going insane for that show. Like 2013, so he had like Wild for the Night was a big banger. I remember he played that, stopped it, restarted. He's like, I need you to go crazier. Starts it, restarts it. I need more, and it was just crazy, like mosh pit energy, insane. Effing Problems. He had like Peso, Goldie, Brand New Guy. So there's a lot of songs like at that time like I was a huge fan of. So that was one of my favorites for sure. Back to Oshiega, one of the best for sure. Outcast. I've definitely said it before on the pod, but just to be able to see them where I believe they had broken up as a duo and then reconciled and did this big tour together. So I'm glad I got to see them. That venue too at Oshiega, I just remember us being like on a hill, very, very far from the stage, but just the aesthetics of it all was crazy. Andre 3000, I remember being hilarious. He was rocking like this platinum white or blonde wig, and he was just cracking jokes in the crowd and and like Outkast has so many hits too, or even if you don't know the lyrics, you'll recognize like, oh yeah, they sing this, and just great vibes. I always remember that one. Red Hot Chili Peppers, seen them twice, once at Blues Fest, once at the Canadian Tire Center. Great both times. I think at the CTC was a bit better, but love them both. And then back Canadian Tire Center as well. My parents got us a box or suite, I guess, a box at the CTC for Imagine Dragons in 2022. And speaking of like hits, there's so many songs like, oh yeah, they sing this, and it's just great vibes, high energy. We were going nuts in that box. Like we had a big squad, like rolling maybe close to 20 deep, just going insane. Yeah, that was a rowdy night from the confines of a box. We're making a lot of noise, standing on the ledge and just being a maybe nuisance to others around us, but you got to bring the energy at these shows, and Lord knows no one can take that away from us. We definitely did that night. So that's another all-timer. And yeah, Migos, Joey, Killers was really good. Maroon 5 last year. There's a lot of show. I'm forgetting others there, but J. Cole is another one I list as like sneaky, very funny too. Like that's a big thing. If you can have a good stage presence on there and crack jokes, relate to the audience, that's huge. Yeah.
Wow. It's a lot of cool concerts. Damn. Yeah, I heard Imagine Dragons. He puts on a good show. Like, it's all bangers. It's all the popular. It's all like known stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope to God next time we do a music episode that I will share my lovely new experiences with you guys. But yeah, we'll see.
Looking forward to it.
Little by little. It's not all going to happen tomorrow, but like, baby steps.
Yep.
Yeah, Eric, I had prepared 3 days of my like dream lineup at Blues Fest.
Okay.
Did you want do one day, like I'll start with one, then you do one? Okay,
Yeah,
we'll alternate.
I think one day
My
at a
first
time.
day, yeah, one day at a time. Okay, I'll start with my country day.
Okay.
I have been listening to a lot more country music in the last 3-4 years. Mackenzie loves country music, so she's introduced me to a lot of new artists. But like so country night, it's going to be good vibes. I have one food item.
Oh, nice.
For each day, just like something that I'll be giving out for free. For country night, it's going to be these gourmet hot dogs. Try to stick with like food that you can just carry in your hand and eat, and you don't need a fork. Gourmet dogs that day. And the big opener that night, the big like headliner, not opener, sorry, the headliner is going to be Luke Combs. He's a huge name in country music. He's got a great voice. He sounds amazing live. Very big personality. He's awesome. I listened to his last few albums, start to finish. They're great. So Luke Combs is the big headliner for country night. But before him, I'm going to have 3 people performing before him. Dallas Smith, who's Canadian. He's a really good country artist. He used to be in like a rock band, but transitioned to country. So Dallas Smith. Morgan Wallen, who's also a huge name in country, but he can't be the headliner because he's got a bit of a wild side to him. And so he's going to be second to Luke Combs in this. But this guy's immensely popular, a lot of big hits. And then the third, before Luke Combs playing, this is a lesser known country band to the general public, but they have songs that everyone's heard. This is Florida Georgia Line. They have a lot of good bangers like Cruise and Stay and that song Around Here. Like these songs you may have heard on other stations other than country. But yeah, that's my country night, Eric. So Luke Combs, then Dallas Smith, Morgan Wallen, and Florida Georgia Line. Those are all solid choices. They're all still performing. Actually, the lead singer of Florida Georgia Line is kind of solo right now, but he can reunite no problem. I think that's going to be an amazing country night. I know country nights are always good vibes. Like every time I ask about a Shania Twain concert, someone's like, yeah, it was so much fun. The crowd's into it. People are just different type of crowd, right, than hip hop night or, metal or hard rock show. So that's my first day.
100%. You got some solid names in there. So for each of those, you'll have recognizable. Like Cruise, that's the one that I would be just vibing to for Florida Georgia Line. Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs. I feel like if I heard their songs, like, oh yeah, these guys, like he sings this or whatever. And I do feel like after having seen Shania Twain and Hozier to a certain degree, it is making me appreciate like just the vibe at a country show. It's way more chill. Everyone's in a good mood. You got the cowboy hat and boots on. You got denim for days out there. People just feeling good. So it's something that next year at Blues Fest, I'll definitely look to try to mix in as many country shows as possible. Where in the past, I would have avoided them like the plague. But now I'm definitely more open-minded to the vibes that they bring to the table in a safer venue. So me, definitely no country night at my shows, and I definitely went with one big name per day and then smaller artists for each day afterwards. So day one, no specialty items, unfortunately. What I was thinking is this festival too, we're looking at Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. No Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because most of these days, like, you're gonna be wanting to stay up relatively late for these. So kicking off the venue or the festival with a, you're gonna want to take Friday off because this guy puts on a hell of a show on my list for sure, and he's come around similar to you, like around Toronto, Montreal. Hasn't been to Ottawa as far as I'm concerned, but like it's a big miss that I haven't seen him yet. I've been a big fan for since 2011, really. Kendrick Lamar, that's someone that bucket list item. Not really happy that I haven't seen him yet because I definitely could have looked into buying a ticket and going to see him live. I think Sarah's seen him twice. My cousin Dylan's seen him as well. And him, it's, we talk about rappers like there's not that much going on with their shows. He's putting on like a full theatrical performance on there with stage design, thought-provoking lyrics, and yeah, I think it'll also be maybe not a pushing and shoving kind of rap show, more just people reciting the lyrics bar for bar and
Right.
just like in awe of how good he is live. Like that's a big thing that came into play for me putting together my list is that I wanted artists who have good stage presence, not like a Larry June, Boldy James, like I said. So no shots fired to those guys, but kind of, I guess. Next one, another one I've heard is Crazy Live. I've been a fan of for a while. This would definitely be like, this guy's demanding mosh pits out of his crowd. I might get in on them, might not, who knows. Denzel Curry, feel like he's got insane, just his raps are so high energy that you can't help but bring that to the table in his shows. And he's super underrated, on the somewhat rise, but pretty well known in the rap scene, and someone that I definitely is on my bucket list to see live. No doubt. Now, switching gears a bit from rap here, and I thought this group maybe infringed on headliner status, but I also feel like things have changed for them due to unfortunate circumstances. So I'm going with a band that I used to be a massive fan of when I wasn't as big into music, Linkin Park. Now I realize that their lead singer has passed away, but has been replaced by, I don't know her name off the top of my head here, but I would imagine that just she would do those songs, those classic songs, justice and would bring good energy. People know their hits, What I've Done, Numb, there's a lot of others.
In the end.
In the end, yeah, exactly. You all know the songs. So Linkin Park would be amazing, I think, and a nice, refreshing change of pace from the rap that I'm going to be bringing to the table here. Now,
I love that.
Next one, I don't know how this guy would do live, and to be honest, like it's not like this guy's like one of my favorite artists of all time. I was just looking for a bit of diversity here, but the artist called Six or just Black, I feel like could bring like a more mellow vibe if you're just looking to vibe out, R&B kind of rap as well.
Okay.
Black, like that's his name, but it's with a 6 instead of the B. So pretty dope artist that I would like to see live if ever he was around, and looking to change gears from the intense rap that we have with Denzel Curry and Kendrick and The Rock too. So if you're looking to just chill, maybe he's on a smaller stage for sure, the River stage, I believe. So that's who I would lock in that fourth slot there.
Damn, I love that day. The Linkin Park, they have a new album with the new female singer, and there's a couple bangers in there. Heavy as the Crown and The Emptiness Machine. Those are two like solid new Linkin Park songs. They play on the radio, so that's a good choice. Old and the new there, good homage. I like that day a lot, Eric. Good variety.
Thank you.
I'm glad you brought the hip hop because I didn't bring any hip hop, but I figured I was hoping you would really, and I was gonna throw the country as like a curveball. My next day is like, this is my like more hard rock. I did the day as like a genre of music, which maybe I, in retrospect, should just divide it into like different vibes. But like all these artists on this second day, which is my hard rock day, or let's call it 90s, more like looking at the past. Like these are all like more 90s, 80s bands that are still doing stuff to this day. Like I tried to pick bands that are still doing concerts, but okay, so my headline headliner, this is like super generic, but my headliner is Metallica because I absolutely love them.
Nice.
Listen, I've only discovered all their music in the last 5 years. Like I listen to their metal stuff and their rock stuff. This is going to be more an emphasis on their more metal-y albums like Ride the Lightning and Injustice for All, with none of their slow songs, just like all like they're going to hype up the crowd. So that's going to be at the end. The headliner, that's going to be the end of the night. So we're going to open this night with the Smashing Pumpkins. If you know the Smashing Pumpkins, they have more of a softer sound, but I don't know. I've just fell in love with them in the last few years. I really got into Billy Corgan's voice, and like he has a super unique voice, but if you like it, you'll just dig that band, and I dig that band. So he's going to start everyone off mellow to be followed up after by Alice Cooper, who's in his 70s but can still rock it. I love Alice Cooper too. I love all his songs like through the decades, and he's just gonna be singing his bangers, you know, his well-known stuff. No More Mr. Nice Guy, Poison, I'm 18, Is It My Body, like really quick, energetic songs. And then I was gonna include this band, but honestly, in good faith, I gotta remove him because their lead singer has passed away, and I was gonna do a cheat, Eric. I'm removing the name, and I'm going to do a quick replacement on the fly with 3 Days Grace.
Okay.
Because I know they're not from the 80s or 90s, but, man, I just missed my chance to go see them this year, and they're great right now. The lead singer's back. They have 2 singers now, and the original one's back with them, so they're singing all their bangers from their self-titled first album and 1X. So songs like Animal, I Have Become, Never Too Late, and then I Hate Everything About You, Home, those like classic songs. And then we end the night with Metallica doing their hardest metal songs like Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, One, I don't know, there's so many of them. Blackened, like all the songs from their metal albums. Master of Puppets, Welcome Home. Welcome Home. You should check that song out, Erica. Metallica Welcome Home on their Master of Puppets album. It's amazing. So yeah, Metallica's a big headliner on day 2. So this is a more like aggressive night. There will be mosh pits.
Oh yeah.
Be careful. It might be raining and muddy too, so it looks like Woodstock 1999, you know, so beware of that night. But that's my second day for me, Eric.
That sounds awesome. That's like a lineup pulled off the page of a Rockfest show venue, right? Like that's awesome. I feel like you left out the biggest one for Metallica, which I'd be dying to hear Enter Sandman live, and could just imagine how crazy the crowd's going for that. But no, I definitely gotta check out. I just have in my mind that Metallica is just like this insane, crazy metal screamo vibes, but like they've got songs that are just like good rock songs and are digestible for the average rock consumer, which I would say like I'm that and less, right? So no, that sounds like an awesome lineup. Like you got the heads just bopping like crazy, guys with the greasy hair down to their knees just going ballistic. The calves on those guys are just out of control. So it's just that'll be a good time, no doubt. And I like the diversity, honestly. I think you're already curating a stronger roster than myself. I'm pigeonholed in the rap game, but I think nonetheless people will find stuff to enjoy out of this day 2 that I've put together as well, which to be honest, I was 100% sure that my headliner for this day you would have in yours, but now you're saying you don't have any rappers, so I'm going with the GOAT here. Eminem would be my headliner for sure. Like that's another bucket list. I would love to see Eminem live. That's one where if he's in Montreal, Toronto, like definitely taking the train or just ripping it down the highway to go see him at this stage in the game. Like that's a must. Eminem, do we even really need to spend time on this? No, still will. Just guy ran the late 90s, 2000s, even 2010s in terms of rap radio dominance as well. Guy was just collecting Grammys left and right and really bridged the gap between casual music listener and hardcore rap fans, black and white, right? Like he's gotten respect from all communities in the rap world, where a lot of white rappers have struggled to gain prestige from like any rap audience really, but he's one that's really looked at as like undisputed GOAT and hard to take that away from him. So Eminem, I feel like hopefully anyways puts on a hell of a show, and no one can rap like him. So would love to see Eminem. Segueing into my number two, not the biggest name that I have on here, but I'm gonna go with him because he could even pop on stage to do one song with Eminem, in that he used to be signed to Eminem's label. My guy, Yellow Wolf, would be someone that I would love to see live and would fit in nicely on this bill, where he's talking about diversity. This guy's put out country albums, rock albums, rap albums, singer-songwriter albums, collab albums with various artists that you would never expect, and nails all of them to perfection, in my opinion. Like, Yellow Wolf's versatility is one of the things that I praise and respect the most out of him. He could put on a show where he's yelling at you to start a mosh pit going, and then he's slowing it down, bringing out the guitar and singing about it's always been you and me. Anyways, I'm a huge Yellow Wolf guy. I have been for a long time, and his resurgence in the last like 5 years has been really impressive, and I love to see it. Guy just turned 45 not that long ago, and he's still putting out amazing music. So bucket list for me, and I think fits nicely on this bill. Next up, I named them that I've seen them before twice. I just mentioned them, but I'm going with Red Hot Chili Peppers here, just for a nice like chill vibe, good rock music. I think they're a big enough name to headline their own day, but I don't care. Throwing them in here for a bit of biodiversity, if you will. And if you're not a huge rock person, you can vibe out to their music. And then this is an interesting one. And in that, I actually bashed this artist, saying I didn't really want to see him live. But I'm going with a specific setting here for this. So I want to hear Travis Scott and Quavo from Migos perform from start to finish their album Huncho Jack Huncho. No, nothing else. Like, they're just doing this album start to finish. So it's Travis Scott and Quavo performing Huncho Jack Huncho. That's what we're seeing from them specifically, and then they're getting off the stage.
Love it.
And honestly, like, they could throw in, like, both those artists could do different songs that I love, but I want it to be specific. I actually like when artists do that, like,
what's it? Kid Cudi?
Or, well, no, I mean, like, specifically, like, an artist saying, like, for example, Black Thought performing Cheat Codes. Like, an artist who will just do one album at a festival. Like, you don't see it that often, but, or Kid Cudi doing Man on the Moon Volume 2, whatever, like a specific. I'm narrowing this down to that album, because I love that album. I feel like it's underrated, and there's a lot of good energy that I feel like the crowd would appreciate hearing that hidden gem of an album from those guys on. Yeah, that's my lineup.
I love that idea, Eric. That's a great day. Yellow Wolf, great pick. Super diverse. Like, guy, he can sing Bounce one moment, and then he'll sing, like, off Love Story, like American You, just with the acoustic guitar.
Nice.
Like, who has that versatility? Freaking also on Money, you have Jelly Roll featuring Jelly Roll. Like, I remember listening to that and not knowing who Jelly Roll is. Now he's a huge star that could almost headline a day. So the guy is everywhere. That year we did where his album was number one, right? Mudmouth, right? Mudmouth?
Yep.
That year he had like four, like so many projects, and that was, anyways, great pick. I love it.
Yep.
Okay, my last day is like pop rock nostalgia night. This is me taking me back to like the early 2000s and everything I loved as a kid. It's okay. Let me just start it off. You've already mentioned this band, but I'll say them. The Sum 41 is going to open the night off.
Nice. Because
they're Canadian legends. Everybody knows their big hits. They're going to be singing just their big hits from their first few albums. I mean, I don't know if you listened to their last album. It's actually decent, too. They have, like, they're keeping the same sound, like that song Landmines. I like that one. I think it's called Heaven and Earth or Heaven and Hell, their latest album. Anyways, they're going to be singing Motivation, Fat Lip, In Too Deep, Still Waiting. Those songs hype the crowd up. And we're just going to continue rolling along with this nostalgia train, Eric, with Blink-182. Travis Barker's going to come down on stage with his drum set, like From the Ceiling. They're going to lift him down, and then they're going to open up with all their big songs. Adam's song, The Rock Show, All the Small Things, all the songs we know and love. Do they all sound the same? Maybe, but it doesn't matter. Everyone's gonna be just friggin' jumping off their feet, vibing. Um, and then the next band before our headliner. Now it was Linkin Park, but I just did another quick switch, Eric, because you already mentioned them. So I just switched to this band. Maybe they're not as known anymore, but they were pretty big at the time when I was a kid. It's Good Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
Um, they have a lot of bangers in my opinion, like Boys and Girls, The River, Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous, The Anthem. They have a lot of songs where you're like, oh, I didn't know they sang that song, but it takes you back to that American Pie era, 1999, 2000s. I was in high school, finishing junior high. Like it was a really good time. This is for this crowd this day. And then the headliner, not really nostalgia for me, but like this band just got back together and they're doing shows in England. And this is my favorite band of all time. So headlining is going to be Oasis. The Gallagher brothers are back together. I watched their concert on YouTube that they did in Cardiff, England. It was freaking sensational. They sounded great. Oasis is going to play at Blues Fest in my dream lineup. They're going to like be more mellowy and not as fast paced, but they're going to sing. They're going to end the night with their most famous song, Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger. And the whole crowd is going to like do a harmonized version of the chorus, and it's going to be beautiful. Everyone's going to not everyone's going to hold hands, but it's going to be like a happy night and not rowdy like the previous day. And it's going to end on a high note. Oasis is just really rock and roll, and they bring out the vibes. I love watching their live concerts on YouTube. Yeah, like I said, this is pop rock. It's nothing complicated. Super easy to listen to. Not necessarily everyone's cup of tea, but brings back a lot of memories for me. This is a super selfish lineup for what I like, so that's what it's going to be, Eric. So you got Oasis, Blink-182, Good Charlotte, Sum 41. Super nostalgia night.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome show, and I feel like, again, for me, there's going to be, I feel like I've said this like 4 times, but a lot of songs like, I hear him like, hey, I didn't know Good Charlotte sung this. It's just like that throwback, those songs you'd hear in all those like She's the Man, Freaky Friday, those kind of movies, and just bring you back to a simpler time, if you will. And that's just a vibes night where you're just feeling like you're back in '02 and just living the dream, not a care in the world. That's awesome. Love that lineup, and love the festival in general that you've curated. Good diversity, like I said earlier, and I'm gonna try to bring a bit more diversity in this one. Back and forth between who should be my headliner here, because I feel like some people listening might be disgusted that I'm relegating this one person later to not headliner. So I guess I made my decision. So my headliner for this day is someone who's just gotten bigger and bigger with years, probably literally in the amount of beers this guy consumes. And I'm going with Post Malone as my headliner here. This guy, again, very
solid,
diverse and versatile artist who's done, like, he started off really in rap and now has slowly started to become a bit more of a country, even rock artist. Like his next album could be an all-out rock one. I wouldn't be surprised. So I feel like he's got enough hits in his catalog to really have no lulls the entire night where everyone's singing along, vibing to the songs. And I like that you mentioned the song that you want an artist to start with, is I'll go with Post Malone. I'd like him to start with Broken Whiskey Glass, which is by no means, that's not a hit at all, but it's the opening song to his album Stony, which I feel like has a cinematic vibe to it. There's like eagles blaring in the background. There's like, you feel like you're in a Western movie, and it's just vibes. And the song, if the crowd knows the lyrics, they could just sing along. It builds up as the song progresses, and we're just vibing out there. So that, I'd like him to do the song Up There as well, and Leave. Again, 2 kind of deep cuts on Stony, but just don't forget about those ones post. And
that's
then
a no-skip album.
Oh, yeah.
That's a phenomenal album.
So good. It's my favorite of his for sure.
Yeah.
That would be my request from Post Malone. Then the next group I would want to see, who again I feel like has a lot of energy as well. They haven't put out music in forever, but I would love to see these 3 rappers reunite, Flatbush Zombies, been a fan forever, and I know that they put on a hell of a show too, kind of like a Denzel Curry, mosh pit inducing, crazy raps, a lot of catchy songs too. This would be on the smaller stage, no doubt, but those who know, like when you run into someone, I have a Flatbush Zombies t-shirt, and whenever I wear it, if someone's like, yo, sick shirt, like I know they know ball. Like they know Vacation in Hell, 3001 A Laced Odyssey. Like they know the deep cuts. Um, anyway, so it's just a good connection to make with those kind of people because it's an obscure rap group, but big fan. Then this is who I was talking about as who could be the headliner, just because he's been doing this for what are we looking at, 50, maybe even 60 years in the game, still performing. Our Uncle Pat, I think, has seen him 75 times in concert. I'm talking about Bob Dylan here, ladies and gentlemen. Because I've been a fan of his music for like the last half decade or so, let's say, and would be a nice kind of complimentary to Post as well. Like he's on the big stage before Post, I would say, and just up there with his harmonica and guitar, just vibing with some folk, some rock, and just a lot of songs that people may not know right away, but some that you'll recognize and can just vibe out to. People are just lighting up J's left and right and just having a good old time. So yeah, Bob Dylan would be I honestly think I should go see him. If ever he comes around here, I'll look to go see him for sure. And
He's
then
a legend, right? Yeah.
100%. And now my last one is, speaking of, I mentioned J. Cole and Outkast were funny on stage. Well, I know this guy's could have a Netflix special on how funny this dude is, and he's a pretty half decent rapper. Putting out an album next Friday at the time of the recording. Freddie Gibbs is someone I would want to see in concert. In
Great
that
pick.
he'd be my, like, again, lyrical, also with some bangers in there too, get the crowd going. And yeah, would be someone on my list for sure, as I've been a fan of forever, and people I used to work with can attest that I would always be like, yo, you got to check out Bandana by Freddie Gibbs. Like, yeah, we know, guy. So I've kind of toned it down on that. But yeah, that's someone I'd like to see in there. So Freddie Gibbs, Bob Dylan, Flatbush Zombies, Post Malone. That's my day 3. Nice to know you.
Phenomenal picks here. I love the variety and the variety in these artists themselves. Like Post Malone can literally, he will thrive in any genre he does. I truly believe that. Immensely talented. Bob Dylan too changed his sound and was still super popular. Bob Dylan has written some of the most famous rock songs of all time. They've just been covered by other people. Those other versions are more well known, but Bob wrote them all. They're knocking on heaven's door. Like been redone like 3-4 times. He wrote that song.
Yeah.
For a movie, actually, a western.
Let's go.
But yeah, great pick. Flatbush Zombies. I work with a guy who has a Flatbush Zombie tattoo, and I remember I asked him, like, what is that? He's like, oh, you're probably not gonna know, but that's I think it was Eric the Architect, maybe. It was like a little triangle thing, and maybe an art from the album. But he's like, oh, you probably don't know Flatbush Zombies, and I'm like, I actually do because of my cousin.
Yeah.
This was like a while ago, but because of you, Eric, I know them. And he's like, oh shit. He was like a little impressed. Then he started talking about them. Then I'm like, yeah, okay, you just can't wait too deep.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. They are indie, so they are very indie. Yeah, great night, Eric. Great pick. I like both our lineups, honestly. Like, mine's more unreal. Like, it's unrealistic to expect all these artists to be on their own one night, but like, yeah, we can imagine.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's more like a big rock festival more than a small blues fest thing. But I'm very happy with my lineup, and yours is great too. So yeah, no, I'm very happy. I didn't mention the other food I had. I don't know. Just finger food. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm very happy.
So the last thing I'll add too is that every day we're gonna have at least a nice 3-hour stretch where the homie DJ Double Down is posted up in a booth and just putting together good tunes for the people to vibe out to, which I will say he was also at Blues Fest, played quite a few days, went to see him, said what's up, and guy was killing it. Love to see the success. Keep it up. But yeah, you got a spot on my lineup, my concert, no doubt. So just want to add that in there as well. Yeah, so that'd be my lineup, and we did get quite a few listener submissions for who they'd like to see at a festival, so I'll rattle those off. Actually, the first one was from the homie DJ Double Down, and he said, so I might be mispronouncing this, but Kruang Bin. So it's a alternative music group, which I actually know their music decently. Don't know how to pronounce their name though, but it's a pretty good, like, chill, mellow, alternative music group that would recommend if you're not familiar with them. Anybody listening? Kruangbin, KHRUANGBIN. Really good stuff. Like, really good to just vibe out to. He said not to headline, but strictly for vibes, and I agree. They'd be awesome vibes to add at a, like, on a smaller stage just to chill. Could have swapped Black with them, but I know Black's music a little more, so that's why I went with him. Do you know their music,
Thank you
Matt?
for spelling. Yeah, thank you for spelling because I wrote the name down. I'm gonna check it out. No idea who they are. So cool.
Nice. The next one was from the homie Justin Mocktinger. So he submitted Drake, Travis Scott, Lil Wayne, Kid Cudi, and if he was still alive, Juice World. So of course, of those, I've only seen Lil Wayne live. Actually, I saw Drake. He popped out at, this is another kind of smaller venue that I went to a few years ago. Dave, the UK rapper that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Drake popped out
Right.
at that show to do a song with him. That was awesome. Great surprise. Wow. I remember people were saying, like, oh, Drake's going to be here tonight. I'm like, there's no chance he's going to be here. Like the lady who told me that I would never be in the Exchange because I thought that I had a chance of being in there, and I was. But anyways, so yeah, Drake definitely would be awesome to see. Kid Cudi too, and Travis. I agree with those names as well. The next one was from the homie Ron Antoine. So he submitted Brian Adams, who I actually have seen. It was my first show that I went to with Andy. Great times. That was a good, like, vibes, chill crowd, good tunes. Summer of '69, of course, and all of his other songs.
A lot of bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Ron. And then my bro, Zach, he submitted, I'll just have to pull this up. So a decent amount. Said NWA, Eminem, Yellow Wolf, One Republic, Post Malone, and Queen with the GOAT Freddie Mercury. So,
Of
course, that would be an awesome one.
Yeah.
All great. I would love to see, like, all those artists pretty much.
Oh yeah, me too.
One Republic, I feel like. Yeah, go ahead.
Indie pick, yeah, like a dark horse pick. I like it.
Yeah.
They got so many, like, songs we all know and love. So
Yeah. And then the next one, I think the last one, was from the homie Brandon. So he submitted Nas, Rakim, and LL Cool J, all back end with The Roots. So that's a pretty hip hop heavy lineup, old school hip hop.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was it for picks. Just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody, as I have in the past. But
Brandon just came back from Run the Jewels and Wu-Tang in Montreal, so like that looked pretty awesome. I've seen some videos. Yeah. And like most of Wu-Tang was there, and ODB's son was there too, so he's
cool.
He told me that was pretty special. Yeah. That's such a stacked band. Like, Ben solo art, like as solo artists, like they've gone to do so many cool things. Now they reunite for this show. Like even Method Man was there, which apparently he's not always with them. So I heard that was a really cool show in Montreal.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few members of Wu-Tang Clan, like either individually or like as a group, but never the full squad. Like it's impossible to get them all really. Ghostface Killah, I saw like just his show, and then he brought out a couple of guys like Capadonna, I want to say, and maybe another one. And then Wu-Tang, it was like Jizza, RZA, Master Killa. I don't know. I forget, to be honest. Like it was right before Foo Fighters, and we showed up kind of late, but heard a few of the songs. I don't think Method Man was there, but they've got so many great songs that it's always a vibe to see them. Ghostface Killah was sick though. That I saw the whole show, and good times. So thanks everybody for the submissions. A lot of fun talking music with you, Matt. Do you have anything that you wanted to recommend to the people before we sign off?
Yeah, I'll do it quick. I'm gonna save. I finished the book, but I'll save it for next time because I wanna. Maybe I'll wait till. Honestly, I'm halfway through the second book. I'll just wait till I'm done with the second book and like intro this series that I've been hyping up every episode.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm gonna recommend Squid Games the last season.
Okay.
I binged it all. Squid Games now has 3 seasons in and out done, like the show's done. I really enjoyed it. Maybe not for everyone, but you know what? Like, it got emotional and really good at the end. I really dug it. Um, then 2 movies. I'm just gonna rattle everything off in one shot here.
Okay.
2 movies. One is a horror movie that actually terrified me. Like, I actually got scared. Like I was getting goosebumps because of the things they were doing. Yeah. Anyways, Bring Her Back is the horror movie I recommend. Um, 2 Australian guys, they directed it. They had previously directed Talk to Me, which was a really creepy movie, but Bring Her Back, really good. And then that movie Friendship that a lot of people on our
Yeah.
letterbox watch. Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. Eric, I have no idea who this Tim Robinson
Okay.
guy is, but he kind of annoyed me, which is why I give the movie 3.5 stars. But you know what? You got to watch the movie. It's super unique
Okay.
and like darkly funny, but not slapstick. But yeah, so Friendship, Bring Her Back, Squid Game season 3. Watch it, guys.
Yeah, Tim Robinson, I feel like is either you love him or you hate him kind of thing. And
Okay.
I've seen
Okay.
skits of his where like people have sent me like little reels with him, and I can't really say that I've found his stuff that funny. So I don't know if the movie like I'm assuming he acts the same way that he does in these skits. So
Yeah.
I still want to see the movie though because I like seeing a nice comedy, and Paul Rudd obviously big fan. So
He was great. Yeah.
gonna go into it with an open mind, but I'm also not expecting to be like enamored by the movie in like 4.5 stars. But hopefully I'm proven wrong, and I because I've also not seen that much of Tim Robinson that I can completely write him off, kind of thing, you know. So
Right.
you're saying he annoyed you. There's a chance it'll be the same for me, but hopefully I turn a new leaf with this guy. Who knows? But definitely one that's on my list, and I do plan on seeing, no doubt. Yeah, so I'll flip it a bit on the music side, like just stick to the theme of the episode here. A few albums have started to come out that I've enjoyed a lot. I'm assuming you've heard both these, but I'll just throw them out to the people there. Live and in Color by Juicy J and Logic. So it's a collab album between the two, which when you see this, it's like an unlikely pair, really. Like we know Logic
Yeah.
from kind of more boom bap, positive vibes, very open minded and progressive raps, rapping about race and religion, sex and stuff like that. Or yeah, sexuality, I guess, whatever. And Juicy J is like hardcore underground drugs, like sex, I guess, again, and like just really different like trap vibes. And the two of them together, they pair off each other really well. And the album plays out more of like an interview style where Juicy J
Yes.
and Logic are talking to each other. There's a lot of skits, which normally I skip, but every time I listen to this album, I just play it start to finish. I never skip the skits. So it vibes, and Logic really takes on a producer role on this album. He's not rapping on every song, which I was expecting that every song we'd hear him. We don't. But Juicy J is rapping over these boom bap, like old school sounding rap beats, and it works really well. So it's the most I've ever enjoyed a Juicy J album for sure. Like I've known him forever, and he's all right as a feature, a song here or there, but a full album of his I've never really loved, and this is the album of
Yeah.
his I like the most, no doubt. So check it out, Live and in Color. Really good stuff from Juicy J and Logic as well. I'm assuming you've heard of this,
You,
Matt.
oh yeah, I listened to it, especially after Brandon, who joins us on our top 10 hip hop albums. Like he told me to listen to it. He's like, make sure you listen to this. And I'm like, you know what? I've already have because as soon as it came out, anyways, you said everything beautifully, Eric. And I'm just gonna reiterate like the skits and they're explaining like, yes, this is an unlikely pairing, and yes, this is why we're doing it, and like how they met and making Juicy J more take him out of his comfort zone with the rapping, you know, and you can't skip the skits because they're kind of like explaining the conceptual. The conception of the album is explained in the skits. It's really cool. Really cool album.
So last album I'll recommend is called Let God Sort 'Em Out by the group Clips. So okay, so you haven't heard this. So this is basically if you know the group Clips, it's Pusha T and his brother Malice. So they've reunited after I think their last album came out in like 2009 or something like that. So it's been a long time since they've dropped an album. And I believe Pharrell handled all of the production on here. So getting those classic like bouncy snare. I don't really know how to describe him. It's just good production. Let's just say that. And
Okay.
Pusha T, like controversial rapper. Again, maybe the Tim Robinson of rap. You love him or you hate him. And I love Pusha T. Like I'm a big fan. He's aggressive, like coke, dark drug dealer raps, but he flows on here. And his brother Malice, I don't really know as well, but they kind of sound similar. It's hard to distinguish which is which, but they just rap super well off each other over the Pharrell production. A lot of good features on here, like Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, Nas, make little pop-ins in there. Great album, and if you're not sold on the first listen, I would check it out again. For me, it's just getting better with more listens. Strong album. Let God sort them out. If you're not into it by the first like 3 songs, maybe not for you. But I have a hard time thinking that there won't be one of the songs in there that you'll enjoy. Maybe the first one you'll be like, okay, like what is this? Then the second, and then the third. It's a solid album. So Let God Sort Them Out by Clips. Check it out. Really good stuff.
I wrote it down. I'm going to be listening to it probably tonight on my way to work. So that's freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned something again that this is what I do too with albums. And I'm going to recommend that, guys. Eric's method is amazing. If you're not in by the 4th song, like 2, 3, 4, gotta hook you. One of those songs gotta be like, it's gotta hook you in. First song I always kind of dismiss, doesn't have to be great. Could even just be an intro or a skit.
Yeah.
Love your system, Eric. I recommend that system to everybody because it kind of weeds out, like, we grind out the listens, right, Eric? So I'll know right away after 4 songs, like, no, I'm not continuing. Or I'm not listening to 18 songs if I didn't like one of the first 4. So great system, Eric. I'm recommending that.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you agreeing with my system, and like I listened to this album called Jack Boys 2 by like Travis Scott and his group, his label.
Okay.
Absolute dog shit. I couldn't believe by like I was like by song. I think I went into like 7 songs and I'm like nothing's hooking me right now. I ain't sticking around for the next 10 songs. If we're at 17 songs and I'm not into it by 7, that's a blasphemous crime. So for sure, don't bother with this album. And yeah, for sure, like first 4, you gotta be into it. So what I'll recommend too is I've been like, as I know you're seeing on Letterboxd, Matt, I'm just knee deep in the Western movies right now.
Love it.
And I 100% want to do a pod on this genre, maybe sooner than later because it's so fresh. But maybe I gotta just let this breathe a little and space them out. But yeah, like the Dollars trilogy by Sergio Leone with Clint Eastwood as the man with no name. Obviously, he has a different name in each movie, but just my God, this guy is such a badass and a cool character that even though like at times it may be a little goofy with the punches and the sound effects and everything, and it's maybe a little predictable in the sense where he's gonna be fine, like he always wins basically. He's just so goddamn cool that you excuse it all, and the characters in it are really awesome. Like these old school actors who are playing different roles in these different movies in the trilogy they have good charisma as well, and really enjoying it. So that's, if you don't know what I'm talking about, A Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More. And I actually started watching The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's a long movie, so I'm like an hour and a half in. I've saved the last half for another day, maybe today, who knows. Really good stuff. Yeah, they're awesome. The soundtracks of those movies are incredible too. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly has that classic theme that you've heard in movies or TV show, like you know what I'm talking about. So anyways, good stuff. I will say though, like I'm not done the movie, so I'll just get this take out right now. The Ugly is so annoying in Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I can't stand this guy. Like, the Tuco.
Yeah, Tuco. Eli Wallach. I think he's great.
I find
seen
him
the movie multiple times.
So annoying. But maybe it's a Mr. Blonde effect, where the first time I hated his guts, and then with rewatch grows on you. But anyways, no, I've really enjoyed the first 2, and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Looking forward to seeing where it goes. Still a lot of time. I'm not liking it for sure, but yeah, I'm waiting for the the true badassery to happen. I feel like they're saving some good stuff for the end. And this guy, Lee Van Cleef, I think is his name, unreal
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
Like especially
Yeah.
in for a few dollars more, just a sick character. I love the team up element too. Yeah, no, it's been fun to watch these movies.
Oh yeah, those, and they're super rewatchable too. I'm glad you're like I love reading your reviews on them, Eric, and they're cinematic masterpieces. Just they ooze film, and you can see why Tarantino's like those are his favorite movies because
Yeah.
they're just what cinema is to him, right? And you got to check out the fourth one, not in the trilogy, but it's Leone's last western, Once Upon a Time in the West.
Mm.
It might be the best one out of the four. It's so cinematic, Eric. It's the way it's shot, the close-ups, the gun, like it's amazing. It's a cinema lover's dream. And yes, they're long epics, but like phenomenal.
So
You're making me want to rewatch them, basically.
should.
So if we're doing this western show, like I'll be rewatching some of these. Yeah,
I'm
very
thinking
glad to.
because I'm thinking we'll do like Superman when Superman, well, which is out, and Fantastic Four out. Go see those. Do a Marvel whatever episode. Then maybe after
Yeah.
that Western. So definitely got some time if you want. I'm watching Once Upon a Time in the West. Like actually it's leaving Netflix. I'm sure you have it on physical there, Matt, but it's leaving Netflix on August 2nd. So be sure to watch it before then if you do want to check out the pod and like the Western movies. And all these dollars movies that I just listed are on Prime Video if you want to check them out. So definitely do it up.
Perfect.
So yeah, I mean that's all I would have to recommend at this time. Looking forward to
Yeah, I'm good too.
next episode of potentially superhero talk. You haven't gone out to see Superman yet, right?
No, I'm gonna go on Monday. I mean,
Nice.
I'm going in like the next 4 days. Yeah,
Nice.
I can't miss that one. It's a
No,
theater movie, right?
For
So
sure.
yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, Matt, any final notes for the listeners?
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed our music talk, concert talk. I really appreciate you guys listening to us, like to the podcast. And I hope you're enjoying summer right now. And go to the theater. Go see more Blues Fest. Hopefully in the coming days. And yeah, thanks guys.
Well said, Matt. So yeah, thanks a lot, everybody, for listening. Stay tuned for episodes dropping every 2 Mondays. Continue to enjoy your summer, live in the moment, and yeah. Peace.